What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk about this Dillon Square Deal B reloading press. This is set up for 45 ACP. When you buy this, you'll tell them what caliber you want and they'll send it, and it comes out of the box ready to go. You can make no adjustments and you can be reloading in an hour. You'll need some other things to go with it, of course. You'll need your powder and your primers and some brass and some bullets. I suggest a nice set of scales, and you'll need a set of calipers to measure your overall bullet length. I have 400 rounds here that I've loaded. Everybody wants to know the same thing when it comes to reloading. Can you save money? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, you can save money. I can load these cheaper than I can buy them. 300 of these are full metal jackets. 100 of them are hollow points. The hollow points cost about the same to reload as the full metal jackets. And you can really save money by loading hollow points. These Dillon presses are really nice. Dillon stands behind their products. I started out on a Lee Classic turret press and it did fine. I loaded several hundred rounds through it. The problem with it was for every 100 rounds I loaded, I would have to pull the handle 400 times. On this Lee, on this Dillon, every time you pull the handle, a completed cartridge will drop into the tray. This auto progressive, every time a handle is pulled, the cartridge falls out. So I can load 100 rounds in about 15 minutes. And I'm not the greatest at it. I go slow, I take my time, I watch everything, make sure everything's working properly. If you really wanted to pump out some ammo, you could do it even faster. But I'm not doing it for speed. It's more of a hobby to me. Now, what made me choose the Dillon? When I got my Lee press and was getting it set up, a friend of mine was helping me set it up, and I didn't have a scale. He gave me this Dillon scale that he'd had for years. And if you notice on the bottom front corner, there's a white adjustment wheel where you level it up when you first set it up. That was missing. So I called Dillon to order a new wheel. I talked to an actual person, an actual American. I told him the whole story. The guy gave me the scale. It was missing a piece. I wanted to know if I could order that piece. The man said, give me your address and I'll have one in the mail today. I said, well, how much is it going to cost for shipping and everything? And he said, there's no charge. He said, our products are warranted and I'll have you one out today. And he did. And that right there told me that Dillon Precision was the company that I wanted to deal with, that they stand behind their products. And I even told him that I was giving this thing used and I wasn't trying to get anything for free. But Dillon stands behind their products, and that means something to me. And they make an excellent press. A lot of people will argue that they're the best, and I couldn't argue that they weren't. Now, they make several different models. If you go on there and look at their catalog online, you can sign up for an actual catalog. They'll send you in the mail. But if you're thinking about getting into reloading and it's intimidating to you, talk to somebody that's been doing it. That's the best thing to do. And if you don't have anybody that you know that reloads, but you want to reload, this Dillon is the way to go, in my opinion, because you can get it out of the box and it's pretty much ready to roll with just some minor assembly, and you can be reloading in no time. Now, you can change calibers on these presses. You can buy a new tool head which holds the dies, You can change out the primer feed system, and you can load any straight wall pistol caliber. Now I only load 45 ACP and 9mm, so I went about it the easy way. I wanted them two calibers, and I didn't want to mess with changing back and forth, so I just bought another one. I have one set up for 9, one set up for 45. Now I can pump out these rounds 115 minutes all day long. You'll need to find you a source for primers and powder locally if you can, because you order them, there's going to be a hazmat fee. You can order the brass, it's dirt cheap. Once fired brass, there's several places that sell it. You can order the bullets. You can find them at fairly reasonable prices. I get mine from Precision Delta. But the powder and the primers, they're going to charge you a hazmat fee to ship them. So see if you can find them locally. But if you're thinking about reloading and it's intimidating to you, I feel the same way. But now that I've started reloading, it's not nearly as intimidating as I thought it was. It's enjoyable. It's a fun hobby, and it will save you money in the long run. But it'll make you shoot more as well, because you'll get these rounds loaded up and you'll shoot them, and you'll load up more. If I was paying $35 to $45 a hundred for these 45s at the store, I might not shoot them as fast as I would now that it's only costing me about 22 cents a piece, maybe $25 per hundred tops, and I'll shoot 100, 200, or 300 at a time without feeling so bad about it. Now there's other things you'll need once you get into the hobby. You know, there's a bullet puller. You don't need that stuff to start out. You'll need the press. You'll need some powder, some primers, some bullets, and some brass, and some patience, and some common sense. If you can produce all those things, you can make your own ammo, and it'll be as good, if not better, than any ammo you can buy. Like any other hobby, you'll expand once you get into it. I have a tumbler for cleaning my brass. I have a sonic cleaner, which also is used for cleaning brass. You'll need bullet trays if you can use your old bullet boxes you had, but I bought these trays, they're cheap. You'll need some safety glasses. I always wear them. There's always a potential for danger. I've never had any mishaps or accidents, but you never know what could happen. I have a fire extinguisher. Hopefully I never have to use that. There's plenty of videos on people loading with these square deal bees. Dillon makes a quality product. They stand behind it. And if you just want to load pistols and that's all you care about loading, you can't go wrong with this Dillon square deal. I have no interest in loading rifle cartridges. I don't shoot enough of them to justify it. But I shoot a lot of 45, and I shoot a lot of 9, and I shoot a lot more now that I've started loading them. So if you're thinking about getting into it, I suggest you do. Sometimes you go in the store and there ain't none to be bought, in some kind of panic frenzy every time the government tries to pass a new law. So I just stocked up on the supplies, and I'll just make my own. I'm just as happy making it as I am buying it. But if you're thinking about getting into reloading, it's a fun hobby. It's a worthwhile hobby. I think it's almost a dying hobby. But these Dillon square deal presses, as far as I'm concerned, you can't beat them for what they're designed for. Dillon makes presses that'll load any caliber you want to load. They make several different models, but this one here is the one I chose. The downside of this one, you'll hear people say that it can't load rifles. You can't change it over to load rifle. Well, I'm not interested in loading rifles, so that don't affect me. Some people will criticize it because these dies are proprietary, but that's fine with me as well, because I'm not going to buy a top-of-the-line Dillon press and throw some old low-market dies in it. So that don't bother me either. Watch some videos, do some studying. Don't be intimidated. Get out, get you some supplies, start loading your own ammo. It's worthwhile. It's a fun hobby. It'll make you shoot more. And I really enjoy it, and I think you will too if you just take the first step and jump in. Like I said, I've done the rough math. It's going to take about 2,500 rounds for me to save enough money reloading to pay for this press, and that won't take long. I'm halfway there just about on this 45 press. I've loaded about 650 in this 9mm press, so 6 months from now I'll have loaded enough ammo to pay for both of these. Then I will start saving money when I reload. But don't be intimidated by it like I was and wait so long to start. I wish I'd have started many years ago. It's a great hobby, and it's not that difficult once you get into it. Thank you for watching.